Yo, guys, your boy Chris Lee here. Welcome back to another video, and today we'll be talking about my UFC 2026 predictions. Now, there's quite a few. This does range from minor to massive predictions, and I won't be going into like who will be the champion by the end of the year because I already did make a previous video about that. So let's get right into it. Conor versus Chandler finally happens. I do believe Conor McGregor has fixed himself enough to get into the ring. This is obviously the only fight Conor McGregor will have if he does fight this year, which I do believe he will. And they already have tension. They've already had the Ultimate Fighter. They've had the fight announcement that got canceled because Conor McGregor hurt his toe, I believe. Conor McGregor has fixed up his act massively. He looks much cleaner. He looks better. He looks healthier. And he's obviously very heavily talking about the White House card, which I do believe this fight would take place on. And as I said, I do believe Conor McGregor will fight this year. So moving on to my second prediction. Conor McGregor finishes Chandler via KO. The photo I used was Conor McGregor versus Aldo because I do believe Conor McGregor would catch Michael Chandler coming in. Yes, Conor McGregor will be slower and he won't be as good of a striker because of his age, because he's been out of the ring for 4 years. But I do believe Michael Chandler will try and put on the most entertaining fight he can, which will get caught by Conor. And the power Conor possesses won't go away. Power is the last thing to go when you age. And I believe Conor will knock out Chandler. I don't think it will be a flush knockout. I think he'll get hurt, fall to the ground, and then follow-up shots will take out Chandler. Moving on. Jon Jones stays retired. And judging from the photos I used of him, you can really see my opinion of him. I've never thought Jon Jones was, I've never liked Jon Jones. He's a cheater. He has the most PEDs, pops out of anyone. He ducked Tom Aspinall massively. It's unbelievable to me that people can still call him the GOAT after how badly he ducked Tom Aspinall. But he keeps talking about how he wants to be on the White House card, that he doesn't understand why Dana White doesn't want him on the White House card. It's because he's unreliable. He'll probably pull out. So I do believe he stays retired. And honestly, my personal hope is that he never fights again and that the UFC community kind of forgets about him. Because he shouldn't be the GOAT. Islam Makhachev the higher on the GOAT list than Jon Jones because of all the PEDs. Moving on. Muhammad Mokaev returns to the UFC. Muhammad Mokaev was a top 5 flyweight in the world. He was one of the best. He's coming off of a UFC win against Manel Kape, who's currently the number 1 contender, or the number 2 contender behind Tyra. Muhammad Mokaev has multiple fights on the Brave FC, has knocked out almost all of his opponents, I believe, has finished all of their opponents. He's an unbelievable fighter. He should be in the UFC. Someone of his caliber should not be on the regional scene, just beating up fucking cans. Yes, I know he's difficult. Yes, I know he jumped Manel Kape. Yes, I know he's probably terrible behind the scenes. For the betterment of this sport, for the betterment of flyweight division, he needs to be in the flyweight division. Because honestly, before Tatsuro Taira, he was the only person I had pegged to beat Alexander Pantoja. And now that he's not in the UFC, it feels like he's wasting his youth. Because he was really young. He was like 23, 24, I believe. And it's a crime against martial arts for him not to be in the best martial art company. Moving on. Yuri Prochazka wins the light heavyweight championship. Yuri Prochazka is my favorite fighter. And Alex Pereira is his fucking kryptonite. The power Alex Pereira possesses is the only thing that can take down Yuri. And now that I believe Alex Pereira is going to vacate the light heavyweight championship, I think that leaves a perfect opportunity for Yuri to step up and fight for the title. I do believe the title fight will be against Carlos Ulberg. And I don't think Carlos Ulberg possesses the power and the pace that needs to be set on Yuri Prochazka to win the fight. You're not going to take Yuri to a decision. Yuri will find his shot. You have to put him out, and I don't think Ulberg has that power. So I think Yuri will overwhelm Ulberg and knock him out in like the 4th round. Moving on. Islam versus Ilya does not happen ever. Not just this year. I don't think it'll ever happen. Islam clearly doesn't want to fight Ilya. I don't like Ilya. Like, I think he's a great fighter. I don't like that he beat Volkanovski. So I have a personal beef with him. And it is a little cheesy that he has himself tattooed on his chest. But he's a phenomenal fighter, and I would peg Islam to beat him, though. But Islam's clearly running from him. He left lightweight because Ilya was going to move up. And now he's at welterweight. And if this fight happens at welterweight, it will not be a fight. Islam is too big at welterweight. Ilya's like 5'5", or he's like 5'6". He's too small for welterweight. If this fight ever happens, it should be at lightweight. But I don't think it will. And I think it will be Islam's fault, because I don't see Islam moving down to lightweight. And I pray that Ilya does not move up to welterweight. Israel Adesanya breaks his losing streak. He's currently on a 2-fight losing streak. He lost to DDP by rear naked choke, and then he lost to Nasruddin Imavov by KO. Violent KO, too. First KO of his career besides in like kickboxing against Pereira. I think he's in a fight MVP, Sean Strickland. He's in a fight someone that he actually has a chance of fighting. He's still very good. Like, he was doing very good against DDP until he got caught. His problem is his hands are down, and he's not as fast as he used to be, so he does get caught. He gets caught by the same right hand by every opponent. He got caught by Sean, almost knocked him out. DDP got him knocked down, and Nasruddin knocked him out. He needs to invest in some hand blocking, some guard. But other than that, I do believe he will break his losing streak this year, because I don't think he's done, and I don't think he's obviously ever going to fight for a title again, but I do think he will stay around, have a few fun fights, or a few boring fights, and I think he'll break his losing streak this year. Okay, hold on. I think I skipped one. Lerone Murphy loses his undefeated record. This is the fight that's going to happen. I don't think it's confirmed as of right now, but it would probably happen in London for the number one contenders against Volk or Diego. And I think Mobsar is better striker, and I think he's by far a better wrestler. And I don't think Lerone Murphy will be able to defeat Evloev. So one of them has to lose their undefeated record, and I do think that will be Murphy. Because Murphy fights to the level of his competition often. He had a very close fight against Josh Emmett. He arguably lost to Dan Ige. And yes, he knocked out Aaron Pico, but Aaron Pico is not that high level. He's a fucking Bellator fighter. So moving on, as you already saw, Azamat Murzakanov loses his undefeated record. Azamat is a really good fighter. I do enjoy watching him fight, and I do like him. But every fight I've seen him in, I'm calling for him to be fraud checked. He beat Rakic. Rakic has no chin. Who else did he beat? Who else did he knock out? He knocked out Alonzo Menningfield, and he knocked out Brenton Ribeiro. None of these guys have any chin. He has a lot of power. He's really small for heavyweight, or for light heavyweight. He would probably do better at heavyweight. Light heavyweight, everyone's a lot more athletic and bigger. He has terrible cardio. And I don't know what fight it was. It was one of his earlier fights. He was getting fucked up. He was getting his ass beat. And he was so gassed until he knocked him out, I think it's the third round, luckily. But yeah, if he's in the top 7 now, I think, of light heavyweight. If he fights Jamal Hill, I think Jamal Hill will be able to beat him. Khalil Roundtree is probably the most likely fight he'll take this year, because I think they're similar builds, and I think that will be a fucking firefight. And I would take Roundtree to beat Murzakanov. The only issue in that fight would be Khalil's chin, but I can't see Azamat getting a title shot ever. I don't think he's good enough. And I think everyone above him will beat him. Hamzat move up talk. I didn't want to write the whole thing I have written down, the initial note I had in my predictions was Hamzat beats Nasruddin Imavov and automatically says he's moving up to heavyweight or light heavyweight. This motherfucker is already talking about moving up to light heavyweight, and he hasn't even fought in 2026 yet. He's already said he's not fighting until like May, or he will not start training until May. This motherfucker is the most inactive fighter. He's a terrible champion. I've not liked Hamzat since he stopped being inactive. He's a phenomenal fighter. He's a phenomenal wrestler, but he should not be champion. He doesn't fight. He fights once a year, and he always talks about moving up. And he's not even going to be the first ever 3-division champion. I remember the heavy talk about that. He can't make welterweight anymore. And obviously, if he moves up to light heavyweight, he'll fucking win at light heavyweight. Yuri's going to knock his fat ass out. Joshua Van fails to defend his undisputed flyweight champion. Regardless of who fights him next, I would take them to beat Van. It's not that I don't like Van. I really do like Van. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch. He's the most entertaining flyweight in the world. It's that I think Van doesn't possess enough knockout power to get away, to finish a lot of these fights. He has fantastic cardio. He has fantastic volume. But I think the power on the opposite side in a lot of these fights is going to hurt Joshua Van. We've already seen Joshua Van get put out by Charles Johnson. And the fact that he's so small, he's small for flyweight, and that says something. He's like 5'2". And he gets outmatched in size by a lot of people. Pantoja was like visibly a lot taller than him. Tyra is going to be a monster of him. Tyra is a big flyweight. So he's in a fucking mount Joshua Van and fucking ground and pound him. If Tyra can do that to Brendan Moreno, I definitely think he'll be able to do it to Joshua Van. And another fight, Manel Kape. I would take Manel Kape to beat Van too. So I don't think Joshua Van ever gets to defend his title. Tatsuya Taira wins the flyweight belt. Tatsuya Taira is the most talented flyweight in the world. His jiu-jitsu is phenomenal. His striking is massively improving. He has no head movement. That's one of the biggest flaws about him. But otherwise, Did we see what he did to Brendan Moreno? Yes, he got held at a shitty triangle for like 5 minutes in the first round. But he did end up winning that round. He's not as aggressive as I'd like him to be. But once he gets his jiu-jitsu going and he gets your back, there's no one I would rather have on your back if you're trying to get a finish than Tatsuya Taira. Taira, his system to get to the back is phenomenal. He flows with the opponent so well on the ground that I don't think Joshua Van will be able to fight against whatever Taira offers up. I think Taira will be able to get down Joshua Van due to the size of Taira. I think he'll just be able to muscle down Van. And I think what Pantoja would have done to Van, Taira will do faster. Because Pantoja is often a little hesitant to take down people. Not so much anymore. But I don't think Tatsuya Taira will strike with Joshua Van. So I think Joshua Van will lose the title to Taira. Moving on. Quillan Salkield, top 10 ranked. Quillan was my debutant of the year last year. He had 3 fights last year, 2 of them by knockout, 1 by decision. Beat really good competition, unranked competition. He beat Nasrat, Paraf, whatever his name is. He beat, what was the other dude's name? He beat a really good unranked fighter, or like a debut fighter. And he had that massive knockout against Nasrat. And he had a beautiful knockout against Anshul Jabli. He's a great fighter. He's a great Australian fighter, and you know how good Australians are in the MMA scene. And I just think he'll beat, who is he fighting? Oh, he's fighting someone coming up at the Australia card in like 2 weeks or something. Hold on, give me a second. I'm going to look it up. Because I think this fight will get him a ranked fight. Zhao Rong, or whatever his name is. I think he'll beat Rong. I think he'll beat him. And then I think he'll probably get a matchup against Benil or probably Moicano. If he fights Moicano, I think he knocks Moicano out cold. And I do believe by the end of the year, Quillen Selkill will be in the top 10. And he's very active, so it would really help his case to become a top 10 ranked, because he can progress a lot quicker than other fighters. Max Holloway flatlines Charles Oliveira. Yeah, this is going to be tragic to watch. Max Holloway has so much more power than he did at featherweight, at lightweight. He hurt Dustin Poirier multiple times. He knocked down Dustin Poirier. He knocked Justin Gaethje out cold. He hurt Justin Gaethje. And I think Charles Oliveira is so open on the feet. He got knocked out by Ilya Poirier, obviously flatline knocked out. And I believe he almost got knocked out by fucking Gamrot. Gamrot was landing any shot he wanted on the feet. Charles was just walking forwards, eating shots. And that was such like a heartbreaker, because in that fight, I was like, the winner will fight Max Holloway. And I was just seeing Charles Oliveira get rocked by Max Holloway multiple times. And eventually, he just keeps trudging forwards and get flatlined. So I believe at UFC 326, I believe, Max Holloway will flatline Charles Oliveira. Okay, well, I skipped one, but we see them, so we'll just talk about it. Alex Pereira moves up to heavyweight and wins the interim heavyweight belt, becoming the first ever 3-division champion. What I think is happening is Alex Pereira is going to vacate his light heavyweight championship. He's going to move up to heavyweight, and he's going to fight Cyril Gane for the interim championship, because Aspinall has already confirmed that he is going to get eye surgery due to the double eye poke Cyril Gane did. So it leaves a gap of time that needs to be filled with a championship fight. So I feel like they're going to do that interim fight. And I believe if they do, I would favor Alex Pereira. He's a phenomenal striker. He has great leg kicks. His wrestling is so much more improved. And it would be a fucking great match. I would be really excited to see this fight. Moving on. Magomed John Pork. John Pork gets ranked. He's already one of the most popular fighters in the UFC, and he hasn't even debuted. He is going to fight probably 2 times this year and get a top 15 ranking. If Ruffy can do it, he can do it. He's already getting chants at press conferences. He already has the significant strike record due to this fight. I think he's going to get ranked in the top 15. Now, I'm going to start shooting through these. Alex Volkanovski gets knocked out cold by Diego Lopez at UFC 325. Diego Lopez almost knocked out Volkanovski at 325. I think if Lopez is a little bit more aggressive, he will knock out Volkanovski. Volkanovski's older, he's chinny, and Diego Lopez has improved a lot. He believes in his cardio more. And I do believe that's why he lost the fight against Volk. Is because he was very hesitant. He was very reserved because he didn't know how good his cardio was. So I think he knocks out Alexander Volkanovski. And Diego Lopez becomes the featherweight champion of the world. Atiba Gutierrez gets fraud checked. Now this is one that when I'm talking to people, they don't agree with me. Atiba's fighting like actual bottom of the barrel cans. He's fighting the fucking fighters, cans beat up. He's gonna get fraud checked. He fucking went life and death against someone on the Dana White Contender Series that was a shit fighter too. He's not fighting anyone good, and I feel like once he fights someone good, he'll get wrestle fucked, he'll get taken down, and he won't be able to get back up. I think his wrestling is going to be a massive glaring hole in his game. He has brutal power, I do. If he lands a clean shot on you, you go out. But I feel like anyone that's like in the top 30 of a division, is he in middleweight? Is he in middleweight or welterweight? I think it's middleweight. Anyone in that top 30 middleweight, I feel like will beat him. He's too green. He hasn't had enough competition, and he hasn't gone the distance. His cardio is questionable, and I feel like he's going to get fraud checked this year. Gable Steveson gets signed. This is another one that I don't know if it's going to happen this year because he's also very green. I think he's had 2 MMA fights, 2 boxing fights. He has a lot of bad history. He's a terrible person, but he is a great MMA fighter. Obviously, I'm pretty sure if you're watching the video, you've seen the clip of him landing the knockout blow and then double-legging the dude as he's falling. He's a great prospect, and I would honestly take him to beat a lot of the people in the top 15 right now, because they are just fat heavyweights that can't wrestle. So, Gable Steveson gets signed to the UFC. Alex Pereira vacates. Obviously, we talked about this earlier. Usman versus Islam happens. They're both managed by Abdul Aziz, whatever his name is. Islam wants it to happen. Usman wants it to happen, even though Usman's already a terrible choice because he doesn't deserve it at all. He just beat Walker Buckley. Islam wants the easiest fight possible, which is Islam. So, it's going to happen. Merab and Pantoja failed to get their titles back. I think Peter Yan will beat Merab in the rematch, if they even give him a rematch, because he lost so dominantly. I think they might not even give him a rematch. He may have to beat another person to get the title match. And Pantoja, I think his time is done. His injury obviously isn't as bad, and I hope the best for him. I hope he comes back, and I hope he wins the title. But I just don't see it. I think the way I had it going, if he had won, I thought he was going to lose his next fight against Tyra. And I think he's planning on coming back probably middle of the year. So I think before then, Joshua Van and Tatsuya Taira will have a fight. And Pantoja will return against Tatsuya Taira. And in that case, I favor Taira in that fight. All of these three people retain their title the whole year. Ilya will fight probably one time this year against Paddy or Justin. Hamzat will beat Nasruddin. And Islam will probably beat Usman and Ian Gary. All of these guys are going to retire. Valentina Shevchenko, 37. No one wants to watch her fight anymore. I hope she retires. Stephen Thompson's probably going to have one more fight and then retire. He's 42 years of age. Volk's probably going to lose his next fight and retire. Beneil needs to retire. He's been brutally knocked out in 4 of his last 5 fights. And Colby Covington is just so inactive that he's pretty much already retired. Roster cut. I have a lot more than this. I have Jim Miller getting cut after his 50th fight. I have... Who else? Hold on. I have Kevin Christian, the Indian fighter that got brutally knocked out by Billy Alakana. I have Anshul Jabli. But my main ones is GM3. GM3 is probably getting paid 100 and something thousand every fight just to get knocked out brutally in the first round. Angela Hill's boring. She probably makes a lot of money too. Tai Tuivasa makes a shit ton of money but hasn't won a fight in 5 fights. Bellato has the very sacred 1-1 fight. He's won 1 fight. He's lost 1. He got DQ'd in 1. And he had a draw in 1, and then he got a disqualification in 1. Jailton Almeida, this is just a prayer. No one wants to see this dude fight. I hope he retires. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.